Hello everybody, this is Dr. Samuel again, and in this video we will continue with the solutions to the 2021 Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate examination in mathematics held in July. And we are now on section 2 of the paper 2 examination, and we are on number 8, and this question is on algebra, relations, functions, and graphs. And the particular question really, graphs of inequalities and linear programming. So let's look at the question. Marla buys 2 types of mobile phones, B-Flow and C-Flex, from a company to retail. One B-Flow mobile phone costs $60, while one C-Flex costs $80. She buys X number of B-Flow phones and Y number of C-Flex phones. And the first part of the question, A part 1, Marla must not spend more than $1,200. Write an inequality to represent this information. So basically, Marla must spend either $1,200 or less, which means the inequality is she must spend less than or equal to $1,200. Now, from the problem, one B-Flow mobile phone costs $60, and you have X B-Flow phones. Therefore, the total cost of the B-Flow phones will be 60X. So 60 times X is the total cost of the B-Flow phones. For the C-Flex phones, one of them costs $80. And you have Y C-Flex phones. So the total cost of the C-Flex phones is 80 times Y, or 80Y. But, so this is the total amount of money spent by Marla. But the sum said that this cannot be more than $1,200. So therefore, that must be less than or equal to $1,200. So that is the inequality. However, we should, to make further calculation simpler, divide through by the highest common factor of all the terms. And the highest common factor, if you look closely, it will be 20. So dividing through by 20, we're going to get 20 into 60 is 3, so that's 3x. $20 into 80 is 4, so that's plus 4y. Is less than or equal to, and 20 into 1,200 is 60. So that is the inequality representing the information. 3x plus 4y is less than or equal to 60. Now move on to part 2. Part 2 reads, the number of B-Flow phones, that's X, must be greater than or equal to the number of C-Flex phones, which is Y. Write down an inequality in X and Y to show the information. So just as I just said here, what the sum is saying, that X, the number of B-Flow phones, must be greater than or equal to Y. the number of C flex folds. And that is the inequality. So we move on to part 3. And you have to represent the two inequalities just given on the grid below and label as R the region which satisfies both inequalities. So you have to use the graph sheet to draw the two inequalities and label the region which satisfies both inequalities. Let us do this now. So this is the graph paper we're going to draw the inequalities on. The first inequality is 3x plus 4y is less than or equal to 60. The first thing we do is draw the straight line graph of the equality 3x plus 4y equals 60. So how do we draw that line? We simply get the 2 points where it cuts the x and the y-axis. So the graph will cut the y-axis when x is 0. When x is 0, 3 times 0 equals 0. So therefore 4y equals 60. And therefore y would be 60 divided by 4, which is 15. The graph will cut the y-axis at 15. And since we look at the scale we have, and we will see that 15 will be right here. So we put an X to show where the graph will cut the y-axis. We now go to the x-axis. The graph will cut the x-axis where y is 0, or for y equals 0, and therefore 3x equals 60, and so x is 60 divided by 3, which is 20. So the graph will cut the x-axis at 20. So we draw the straight line passing through these 2 points. And this is the straight line, and this is the line 3x plus 4y equals 60. But since the inequality is that 3x plus 4y is less than or equal to 60, it means that we have to shade below the line. We don't shade yet because we have to get the other line first, but we know the solution will be below this line. So we have our first line. We now go to our second equation, which is x equals y. We draw this line first, and then we shade the inequality. For the graph of x equal y, we know it'll pass through the point 0, 0, because when x is 0, y equals 0. It'll pass through the point 1, 1, or 2, 2, or anything. So we just get any other point where x equals y. So we can get the point 10x, x equals 10, and y equals 10. So we draw the line through these 2 points, and this is the line x equal y. Since x is greater than or equal to y, we have to shade to the right of the line where x is greater than the line. So we shade below the line. So we shade below this line here and below this line here and get all the points that are common to both inequalities. And if we check, the only region that's common to both inequalities will be this region. Let me shade it to show you. This region is x is greater than y, so it's below the line y equal x, and it'll also be the solution to 3x plus 4y is less than or equal to 60, because it is below this line. So therefore, this is the solution. So now we move on to part 4. It reads, the total number of mobile phones is represented by x plus y. According to the graph, what is the largest possible value of x plus y? Now, what you need to remember is any time you have drawn and shaded the region represented by a set of inequalities on the graph, the maximum or minimum values on that graph lies at the vertex, at one of the vertices of whatever shape you have shaded. So all we need to do is go back to our graph, the shaded triangle, and see which vertex of the triangle shaded shows the maximum value, the largest possible value of x plus y. So let's go back to the graph. So we are back to our graph. The three vertices are the point 0, 0, when x is 0, y is 0. So it means the total value of x plus y will be 0. So this won't be the answer. We want the maximum value. For the second vertex up here, x is 8.5. Just read the graph correctly. You'll find that x is 8.5 and y is 8.5. The total value of x plus y is 8.5 plus 8.5, which is 17. And the third vertex is the point 20, 0. It means x is 20 and y is 0. So x plus y is 20. And so this vertex shows the maximum value of x plus y. So therefore, we answer the maximum value of x plus y is 20. And that's it for part A. In the next video, we will move on to part B. If you like this video, then you can subscribe or share or like. See you next time.